Kenny, Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. Obviously, the game was a great game last weekend, and you had spoken earlier about Rashada, and you wanted to preserve his red shirt, and there are 2 games left. Any plans to use him, or how close could he be to maybe seeing some action?
Potentially, it just depends on if he's ready and healthy to get back in there. I'm not going to push him back past the timeline until he's 100%. But yes, he is. If he feels 100%, he could be in the football game. But I'm not going to push him, until he's at that point. But we definitely could use him because it wouldn't burn his red shirt.
Hi, Kenny Hood, Reno Devils Digest. I know we all want to talk about football, but obviously the breaking news about Ray Anderson resigning is on everybody's minds right now.
What happened? Just kidding.
There you go. I'd rather talk about Oregon and UCLA, trust me. But what are your reactions to this news?
Yeah, thankful for him giving me the opportunity to be the head coach here at my alma mater, my dream job. So very, very thankful for him. He's been supportive of me since I got here. So best of luck to him and his future. And, we'll look forward to what the future holds here. But best of luck to him in the future, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity he gave me to be the head coach here.
Kenny, you talked to a lot of fans and supporters. Did you think a change needed to happen as athletic director?
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about things I can control. I'm worried about trying to find a way to score versus Oregon, stop Oregon, and figure out, how you stop potentially the Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback. So I'm worried about things I can control.
Chris Carbon, Son of a Source. Kenny, that being said, though, the elephant in the room is NIL, and that's a major factor in being successful in college football. Do you think that this could be a springboard toward more support from boosters or anything?
I think anytime there's change, right, some things fall through and more people get back involved or disengaged. So I definitely think anytime there's change, it rattles enough cages to get, maybe some people involved and understand that, there's a direction we're heading. I think we're the last 10 months, we've been put in the right direction. That started with, hopefully people believe Ray bringing me in here, and hopefully that's going to carry on through his predecessor. And the direction we want to go, and NIL is we've got about a month, but we got to step it up, and we got to get rolling at a rapid rate in this next 3 weeks to 1 month.
So Kenny, getting back to football, you've been really good about being even keel throughout the season, not being caught up with last game in Seattle, or you're playing Washington State, and both staffs know each other very well. I know you're going to be asked 10 million questions about the Oregon game, and with the creative game plan you had last week, people are only imagining what's going to be in store on Saturday. But I'm assuming that your point of view is really just to keep those elements in check, because if you're not concentrated on just a pure football game that's taking place, that just happens to be the place where you coached last year, taking your eyes off the prize, so to speak, might be costly.
Yeah, I'm focused on our players, putting together the best plan for them to go versus Oregon's football team. They have a really, really, really good football team. Arguably, the best football team we faced this year. Their defensive line reminds me of Georgia's, just in terms of the physicality and toughness from when we played them last year. Their offensive line's big. They've got, I believe is tied for the best quarterback in the country with Jordan Travis. Coached them both, so I have a bias towards both of them. But so both that dynamic of having a really, really stout D-line, really stout O-line with an elite quarterback, an elite skill at the wideout is a very scary dynamic, and we have a big task ahead of us.
And just as a follow-up, with the creative game plan that you had last week, you obviously don't feel like you have to outdo yourself just because now it's Oregon on the schedule.
No, we're going to do the best thing possible. Like, we may put 12 guys out there, I wish, not really. That'd be a penalty, in case anybody was wondering, right? Unless it's in the fourth quarter. But yeah, we may, who knows what we'll do. We're going to put our guys in the best position to be successful, and that's going to look different every week right now. Eventually you want to get to a point where teams have to change to stop you. You don't have to change to stop people. But right now, we have to change a little bit to try to, create some numbers advantages and try to be creative.
Coach Walker Smith, Cronkite News. Is the news with Ray Anderson something you had known for the past couple of weeks was coming, or is this something new you were just learning in the past couple of days?
Yeah, I don't want to comment too much on the timeline. I mean, I was told this morning in a staff meeting. So I found out this morning in the staff meeting. So it was good before it got out. So I definitely knew before it got out to the media.
Coach Harris Hicks, Arizona's family, coaching a guy like Bo Nix, and now playing against him. What was your relationship like with him, and how would you describe him on and off the field?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have an unbelievable relationship. It goes back to Auburn. When I got the OC job at Auburn, he was the true freshman quarterback there that I recruited towards the end of that cycle, and we just built a great relationship, stayed in contact, got to Oregon. I mean, he moved to Oregon because of our relationship, essentially. So when you really think about that, that's how good of a relationship we had, is he trusted me, his family trusted me with their son for his kind of second chance at this deal when nobody thought he could throw. And now he's over here going to be a top 10 pick, potentially winning Heisman's. And it's just a testament to the character of Bo. Bo's an unbelievable person. One, he's a great, great, great kid. He's got a great family. He's so competitive. He's uber competitive. He's super smart and intelligent. And, I had a scout ask me the other day, does he process because he throws the ball so quick? I'm like, yeah, that's why he throws it so quick, because he knows exactly what's happening before the ball is snapped. And that's one of his greatest strengths, is he's gotten to a point, he's gone from a guy who ran around a lot to a guy who literally has the quickest catch to throw percentage or timing in college football. And that's a testament to just his intelligence, his work ethic, who he is as a person. He's somebody that anybody would want. He's married, but if he wasn't, you'd want your daughter to marry him. Like, he is that type of person. And, I have nothing but positive things to say about him.
Coach, you said you obviously have a huge connection with Bo Nix, but also you have a connection with Dan Lanning. What is it about his game plan that makes his offense just so unstoppable?
Yeah, well, hopefully they're not unstoppable on Saturday. But, they've been the best. They're probably the best Oregon offense since the Chip Kelly era, since the Mariota era. This is the best Oregon's been on offense in a long time, and that's including me there last year. They're better than we were last year, and that's just me being completely honest. And I think what makes it scary is you're good up front, you have good wideouts, you have a good running back, and you have an elite quarterback. I don't know where the flaw lies. If you look at their offense and you look at their starters, there's probably 8 guys that'll play on Sundays. There's potentially 3 to 4 guys that can be first or second round picks that are currently playing. And if you have 4 first or second round picks on one offense at the same time, and one of those guys is a quarterback, so that's a dynamic.
Coach, with Bo Nix, could you just elaborate more of like his skill set on the field and just how he's able to have that such high completion percentage?
Super smart, knows where to go with the ball before the ball's even snapped. So has a really good plan, quick release, good pocket movements, hard to sack in the pocket because he's so athletic. Has a really good feel for pump fakes. He's one of the best guys I've been around just using the pump fake to his advantage to not get sacked. Knows how to flip protections at a high rate, so very rarely becomes hot if he doesn't have to become hot. Gets out of bad play calls by checking runs. So, I mean, I could go on and on. He does it all really well. He throws the ball far. There was a time last year he didn't think he had a strong enough arm. And he was over there throwing it like 65 yards, so he started playing catch from his knees and pre-practice. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, your arm's plenty strong enough. But that's just the mentality he has, is he always wants to get better, and then he's an elite leader. So you combine all of those skill sets, he is really good.
Yeah, Kenny, after the dust settled following that win, were there anything said that night or in subsequent days, last couple of days, that were positive that you took from players in terms of buy-in or commitment or validation?
I just think just the locker room after the game, you can feel it, just who's celebrating with who. That's always who I look at is, Is it one friend group celebrating with each other? Is it one position group celebrating with each other? Or is everybody kind of commingling? And in the best teams I've been a part of, it was commingling. And I could see the commingling of different position groups, different friends. I know which pods of people are friends with each other. When those pods are kind of crossing over to celebrate, that's really what you're looking for, and I could feel that. I've always felt our team believed in what we're doing. Even though I'm a little crazy, they know it. Goofy, they know it. But I do believe they believe in the process and the where we're going and what we're going to be. And I think this was a little bit of a validation, but I like I told them all along, the validation is not on Saturday. The validation is in you see yourself getting better, you see our team getting better, you see our team growing together throughout the week. Now, it's a validation, from a public forum, but, I said last week is, if you care what other people think about you, you're going to live a sad, miserable life if you care what that person on Twitter thinks about you. Right? It's going to be because they're going to love you, they're going to hate you, then they're going to love you, then they're going to hate you, then they're going to love you, they're going to hate you. You better just care about what the people in this room think about you. And that's really what we're trying to get accomplished.
Kenny, just to build off that just a little bit, what's your message to fans, the community, about the direction where the program is headed?
We're getting better. We're competing. We need support. We need help. We need to activate the Valley. The same message. Anybody who watches us play, you should be proud of the effort our guys are putting on the field. You should be proud of the fight. You should be proud of the discipline, the lack of penalties throughout a game. Our guys are doing the little things right for you to be proud of. They need a sold-out crowd here versus Oregon. If we expect to beat a team like Oregon at home, well, we better have the best home field advantage in the country. We better have a sold-out crowd, loud as can be, at 2 o'clock. That's what we need. We need the support. So these guys, when these recruits show up, I can't mention a kid's name, but when he shows up, and he visited Oregon last week, and he shows up to our stadium, he goes, whoa, that's just as good of an environment as I was just at, or similar. We need that to take the step as a program, and without it, it's all for naught.
Coach, nearly pulling off the upset against Washington, what are some aspects of two different teams, of course, but trying to, kind of still bring that mentality of being the underdog in this situation?
Yeah, we're always the underdog. That's my personality is, I want to compete versus people that people perceive as better forever. Like, I don't care if we're ever a 30-point favorite, I'm going to consider myself an underdog. Like, that's just how I operate. So it doesn't matter who we play. We're going to prepare the exact same way with the exact same mindset that we're going to go to win the football game. And anybody who doesn't think we're going to win the football game, don't get on the bus, don't go to the team hotel, stay home, have a cupcake, and enjoy your day.
Anthony Remedios, WCSN. Now, Coach, you were with Dan Lanning last year at Oregon as the OC. Is there anything you learned from him or about him in that time?
A lot. I've known Dan for a long time. He was a GA here at Arizona State when I was a high school coach. So I've known Dan a long time. And I just learned, the toughness that was instilled when they were at the Alabamas and the Georgias and the practice structures that they used. We use some of those practice structures still. I learned working for a defensive-minded head coach how important install days are with formations and motions for a defense and how to get a defense prepared, not just an offense prepared. So it was a lot of good learning experience for me for what defenses need in order to be top defenses in the country and how they need to prepare. Because with other staffs I've won, they were not offensive-minded, but they were different. So to be able to combine those two philosophies of Mike Norvell, who I think is one of the best coaches in college football, with Dan Lanning, who I believe is the same, one of the best coaches in college football, and I think they're both proving it, to kind of mesh that together was something that I've kind of been, I've been lucky to have those guys that I've been around.
Coach, on that aspect of the defense, with such a dynamic offense like Oregon, what's your area of focus this week for the defense?
For the defense, take away what we believe they're best at. What that is, I'm not going to tell you.
Coach, using a formation like the swinging gate formation, where did you learn that, and what made you want to use it against UCLA?
Well, we've done unique things like that this year already. We ran the quarterback sneak from nobody out there, which is a form of swinging gate. Last year I did some of that. But to truly create a sound scheme around it was just the matchups that, we had. And then, I told people in postgame with the Jim Fossil scenario, I was looking at different ways to do it. We didn't copy paste what Fossil did for Utah, but it was more the premise of how they did it. We kind of added our own flair to it. But teams have been running the swing game for a long time. This is not like we reinvented anything. Like, people are acting like I just like pulled this magical rabbit out of a hat. No, we've done something that people have been doing since the 1980s. Now, did we run it more than some people have done it? Yes, because it was working and it was sound. But this is not like anything special, in my opinion, just maybe weird and not normal. But, if you just can't be scared of what's working.
Kind of lost in the mix is the fact that you actually sat down with Marv Lewis and looked at this film. Can you just talk about Marv's influence on how much he helped you, especially as a first-year head coach with all his experience?
Yeah, I just always bounce ideas off him. Like, where do you think our team is? How do you think practice is going? Are we practicing hard enough? Are we practicing too much? How do I handle this situation? How do I handle that situation? So he's just been a really good sounding board for me in terms of stuff like that. And then he always presents like a little write-up for the offensive staff and the defensive staff on basically his summary of the opponent in terms of their strengths, their weaknesses, where he thinks you should attack. Not really scheme related. It's just more, what he sees from the people. So it's been really beneficial to have him.